Welcome to Online Learning with me, Mom Jen, and this is a video on our lecture series in general physics.
For today, we will be discussing the basics of fluid mechanics, the study of how liquids and gases behave when they move or stay at rest. So let's recall what are fluids. Fluids are liquids and gases that have the capacity to flow and they do not maintain a fixed shape. So ibig sabihin yan, they flow and adjust to the shape of the container they're in. So examples of these are your water, air, and oil. Okay? So they can move both above the ground, like air currents, and below, like, water flow. We have two types of fluids. First, we have the incompressible, and we also have the compressible one. Okay. So incompressible fluids have density that remains constant during flow. So examples of these are your liquids. Pag compressible naman, their density changes from point to point, and examples of these are your gases. So now let's talk about density. So, volumes of different substances vary with mass. So, density tells us how tightly packed the particles are in a substance. Okay. So, mathematically, it's simply mass per unit volume. So, for density, we would be using the symbol rho. Okay. So, rho or density is equal to mass over volume. Okay. Where your mass now is in kilograms, the volume is in cubic meter, and so your density now has a unit of kilogram per cubic meter. So yung density, again, it tells us whether objects would sink or float in that fluid. So here are the densities of common substances in kilogram per cubic meter. So please be familiar with these values. Now, for water, it has a maximum density of 1 times 10 to the third power, or simply 1,000 kilogram per cubic meter at 4 degrees Celsius. Okay, so because when temperature increases from 0 to 4 degrees, some of the hydrogen bond breaks and molecules come closer, and thus the density increases until 4 degrees because volume decreases. Okay, so above 4 degrees, the movement now or the kinetic energy of molecules actually leads in the increase in volume and decrease in density. Kaya, yan na yung maximum niya. It's 1,000 kilogram per cubic meter. We have what we call relative density. Okay? So relative density compares a substance density to water. It is the ratio of the density of a substance to the density of pure water. Okay? So it is also known as specific gravity. So for relative density, our formula would be this. So we're going to simply divide the density of substance over the substance or over the density of water. Okay? Now, if the relative density is less than 1, it floats. Okay. So it floats like oil in water. Now, if it is greater than 1, it sinks like a rock. Okay. So that's the importance of getting the relative density. So now let's try solving one problem. A shot put ball has a mass of 7.3 kilograms and a volume of 6.5 times 10 raised to negative fourth power cubic meter. So let's look for the density and relative density of the shot put ball. So here's the solution to get the density. So we have density is equal to mass over volume. So we're simply going to divide now 7.3 kilograms with its volume of 6.5 times 10 raised to negative 4. So the density now of the shot put ball is 11,230.77 kilograms per cubic meter. Now, to get the relative density, so I'm going to simply divide this with the density of water, which is 1,000 kilogram per cubic meter. So its relative density or the specific gravity is 11.23. In our discussion, we would be using relative density, not the specific gravity. Okay. So now let's go to pressure. So pressure is a force applied over an area. Okay, so we have now the formula P is equal to F over A, where P is the pressure. So the unit now for pressure is Pascal. And force is, or F is force perpendicular to a given area. So we have this in newtons. And A is the area in square meters. Therefore, yun yung ating unit equivalency for Pascal. It is Newton per squared meters. Okay? So let's have a sample problem related to pressure. So consider a physics book with a mass of 1.2 kilograms. Di ba? Ang bigat ng libro nyo. And its front cover measures 22 centimeters by 24 centimeters with a thickness of 3.5 centimeters. Now, calculate the pressure it exerts on a table when lying A flat and B on its spine. So to solve this, let's have our given value. So we have a mass of 1.2 kilograms, a width of 22 centimeters or 0.22 meters, length of 24 centimeters or 0.24 meters, and then a thickness of 3.5 centimeters or 0.035 meters. Okay? So, kinonvert na natin sa centimeter to meter so that we won't have difficulty in our units. Okay? Now, we would be using gravity or 9.8 meters per second squared para makuha natin ngayon yung force. Okay? So, solution. So, first we get the force or the weight of the book. So, that would be 1.2 kilograms times 9.8 meters per second squared. So, the force exerted by the book is 11.76 newtons. Now, let's get the pressure. So, first, lying flat. So, ang area ngayon ng book would simply be the length multiplied to its width. So we have 11.76 newtons divided by 0.24 divided by the product of 0.24 meters by 0.22 meters. Okay? So ang area ng book when it is lying flat is 0.0528 meters squared. So I'm dividing this. Okay, sorry, dapat divide ito. So now the pressure is 222.73 pascals. Okay? Now, kapag lying on its spine, so ang gagamitin natin ay yung length and multiplied to thickness. Ano yung spine? Yung sa ano, yung doon nakadikit yung mga pages. Okay? So, yung spine ng book. So, the pressure now would be 11.76 newtons divided by the area, which is 0.0084. So again, may divide dyan. So it's not multiplication. So the pressure now is 1,400 pascals. So anong difference or anong napansin nyo dun sa dalawa? So if you have a higher area, it has a lower pressure. So mas konti yung binibigay na pressure ng mas malaking area ng object. Okay? So, in fluids, pressure increases with depth. Okay? So, the depth and density of liquid in the tank actually also depends on the pressure. So, the pressure increases as the depth increases. So, di ba ito yung na-experience nyo? Let's say kapag nagsiswimming kayo. So, as you go deeper, mas nafe-feel nyo yung pressure. O kaya, kapag naman umaakyat ng bundok, or when you're traveling somewhere higher, 'di ba parang may feeling na nagpa-pop yung sa tenga natin. So, dun yun, yung pressure na nafe-feel natin. Okay? Now, in all directions, pressure is exerted equally. Okay? Now, the pressure at a specific depth in any fluid is expressed as P is equal to density multiplied to gravity and multiplied to the distance or fluid depth in meters. Okay, so the unit for fluid pressure is Pascal. So the density is in kilogram per cubic meter. G or gravity, pwede natin gamitin si Newton per kilogram, but pwede pa rin, or they have the same ang value if meters per second squared pa din. Okay, so 9.8 pa rin even if Newton per kilogram yung gagamitin. And then yung D, the fluid depth is in meters. So let's try solving one problem. So if the relative density of gasoline is 0.70, so let's determine the pressure in the gasoline storage tank with a depth of 8 meters. Okay? So ito yung mga given natin. So we have now a relative density of 0.7, a depth of 8 meters, and we're going to use G or 9.8 meters per second squared. So una natin gagawin ay hanapin ang density ng gasoline. Okay, so for this, now have, so nag-derive tayo ng formula. So we now have density of gasoline is equal to RD, or relative density, multiplied to the density of water. So again, the density of water is 1,000 kilogram per cubic meter. Okay, therefore, the density of gasoline is 700 kilogram per cubic meter. Okay, na pwede na natin makuha yung um, ano natin, pressure at specific depth. Okay, so we're simply going to multiply everything. So 700 kilogram per cubic meter, multiply to gravity, which is 9.8 meters per second squared. So 9.8 meters per second squared yung ginamit ko dito para makancel yung unit. Okay, so pwede rin yung kilogram. Yung Newton per kilogram, same lang din naman. So the final answer now is 54,800 pascals. So our previous example is pressure related to liquids. Okay, now let's have pressure related to gases. Okay, so the air around us has weight. So it exerts pressure on everything. And this is called your atmospheric pressure. Okay, so barometer is a device that measures your atmospheric pressure. Okay, so the unit of pressure is equal to the height of mercury column it supports, which is equal to the atmosphere or ATM. Okay, so at sea level, the atmospheric pressure is equal to 1 ATM or atmosphere. Okay, so ayan siya. Now, the equivalent value for ATM or atmosphere is we have millimeters of mercury and Pascal. So ito yung ano niyan, derivation. So 1 ATM or 1 atmosphere is equal to 760 millimeters of mercury. And it is also equal to 101.3 kilopascal or 1.013 times 10 raised to the fifth power Pascal. So ito yung way, nandito nakasulat yung um, formula for that. Okay? So kinuha lang natin yung pressure, specific pressure yan at a depth. Okay? For the mercury column. Now, let's have measuring pressure in fluids. So we now have two ways. Okay. So we have the absolute pressure and the gauge pressure. So absolute pressure includes the atmospheric pressure to which all objects of the Earth's surface is included. Pag gauge pressure naman, it is any additional pressure over and above the atmospheric pressure. Okay. So to get the total or the absolute pressure, we are simply going to add now the atmospheric pressure plus the gauge pressure. Okay. So example, so in a freshwater lake at a depth of 50 meters, determine the absolute pressure and gauge pressure. So paano nga natin kukunin again yung gauge pressure? So simply, we now have the density multiplied to gravity and the depth. Okay? So here, ang gagamitin natin na density would be 1 or 1,000 kilogram per cubic meter. Kasi fresh water yung ano natin, ginagamit natin. Okay? Or water. So that would be, we're going to multiply that to 9.8 meters per second squared into 50 meters. So the gauge pressure now is 4.9 times 10 raised to the fifth power pascals. Okay? To get the absolute pressure, so idadagdag lang natin ito sa atmospheric pressure, which is, so yung atmospheric pressure natin, so again, it's 1 times 10 raised to the fifth power pascal. So, ang absolute pressure ngayon ay 5.9 times 10 raised to the fifth power pascals. Okay? Now, ito si Blaise Pascal. So, according to him, any pressure applied to an enclosed fluid is transmitted equally in all directions. Okay? So, that's how our hydraulic system works. Okay? So, yung small forces applied to small pistons can lift heavy loads on large pistons. So, saan pa natin pwedeng makita yung Blaise Pascal? So, if example, yung sa ano natin, so mga pump, okay? 'Di ba 'pag nagpa-pump tayo, so yung sa pump naman yung sa gases, okay? So, yung you have a larger tube tapos dumadaan siya sa smaller tube or smaller area. So, yun yung ine-explain ni Pascal or the Pascal's principle. Okay? So, ito. Here you have two cylinders connected by a tube. So, notice that they have different diameter. So, since diameter is different, their cross-sectional area, sorry, also varies. Okay? So, if external force is applied on the left, yan. So, as you could see in the animation, so based on Pascal's principle, the right side will receive a force that will push the piston in an upward manner. Okay? So, if pistons are of the small level, or of the same level, then the pressure on the left is equal on the pressure on the right. Okay? So, with this, based on Pascal's principle, we now have the formula. So, pressure 2 is equal to pressure 1 or vice versa. Okay? So, therefore, F2 over A2 is equal to F1 over A1, where A is the cross-sectional area.
So now let's apply Pascal's principle in solving this problem. Okay. So what is the downward force exerted on a small piston with a radius of 2 centimeter that could lift now a 2,000 kilogram car if the large piston has a radius of 12 centimeters? So now let's have the given values. So yung radius of small piston is 2 centimeters, so that's 0.02 meters. For the large piston, that's 12 centimeters, so this is equivalent to 0.12 meters and a mass of 2,000 kilograms. So with this, pwede na nating makuha yung second force or the force on the large piston. So that would be 2,000 kilograms times 9.8 meters per second squared. And we now have the force as 19,600 newtons. So that would be our F2. Now, for this one, we're going to get the area. Okay? So we need to get the area first of our pistons. Okay? So, di ba, F1 over A1 is equal to F2 over A2. So, we now have this. So, F1 over pi multiplied now to 0.02 meters squared is equal to 19,600 newtons divided by pi multiplied to 0.12 meters per second squared. Okay, so since common yung pi sa kanilang dalawa, pwede na natin silang i-cancel out. So, yung F1 natin is equal to 19,600 newtons. So, nag-cross multiplied lang tayo, okay, para makuha natin yung F1. Okay? So, 0.004 meters squared is the square of 0.02. Okay, so divide by 0.0144 meters squared. So, the pressure now, the force or the downward force is 544.44 newtons. So now we have buoyant force, okay? So when an object is placed in a fluid, it feels an upward force, and that is the buoyant force, okay? So if buoyant force is enough to overcome the force of gravity, it will make the object float, okay? So how you experience this? So if you push a beach ball underwater, it tends to float. Okay, parang lumulutang siya. So it is actually the buoyant force that counteracts with your applied force. Kaya siya parang lumulutang kahit na gano'n nyo ka push down yung bola underwater. And that happens because of Archimedes' principle. So, according to Archimedes' principle, a body wholly or partially immersed in a fluid experiences an upward force equal to the weight of the fluid displaced by the body. Okay? So, buoyant force of an object is equal to the weight of the fluid displaced by the object, as shown in this picture. Okay? So, this one, meron tayong metal. and it has a force of 7 pounds. Nung sinubmerge na siya sa water, ano ay naging reading? Naging 4 na lang siya. Okay? So, may natapon na tubig. So, it is said that yung 3 pounds, okay, yung 3 pounds of water, that is actually the buoyant force. Okay? The Archimedes principle can be fully understood using this formula. FB is equal to the buoyant force. So that is your FB. So we now have the density F or rho F. So that's the density of the fluid. G is the acceleration due to gravity. And VD is the volume of the fluid displaced. Okay? So ayan yung mga units of measurement. So for the buoyant force, it is in newtons. The density of fluid is in kilogram per cubic meter. Acceleration due to gravity. So again, pwede yung dalawa. And then we have the volume of the fluid displaced in cubic meter. Okay, so again, the buoyant force occurs because the pressure in fluid increases with depth. So how can we compare the buoyancy of these three objects? Okay, so in each case, these three objects have force of gravity directed downwards. So when something floats, there's a buoyant force wherein it is greater than the gravitational force. When an object sinks, so mas greater yung gravitational force compared to the buoyant force. And if it's neutrally buoyant, the gravitational force is equal to the buoyant force. Ano yan siya? Yung parang magfo-float siya dito sa tubig. Katulad nitong nasa second figure. Okay? So, ito, yung sa first, ano natin, this one. So, it has, the buoyant force is greater than the gravitational force. Dito naman sa isa, so, lumubog siya. So, the gravitational force is greater. Okay? So we have what we call the apparent weight. So this is the weight when the object is immersed completely or partially in a fluid. Okay? So yung objects, they weigh less when submerged in a fluid. Because remember, so the lost weight is equal to the buoyant force. Right? So to get the apparent weight, we're simply going to have this formula. Okay? So Fg apparent or the apparent weight is equal to the gravitational force minus the buoyant force. Okay? So, example niyan, parang mas gumagaan yung mga mabibigat na bagay pag nandun siya sa ilalim ng tubig. Okay? Because they experience buoyant. So, lastly, we have the Bernoulli's principle. It states that the total energy of the fluid that is flowing through a frictionless conduit is constant along a streamline. Okay? So, the velocity of fluid is high if its pressure is low, and its velocity is low if the pressure is high for a steady fluid flow. So, in other words, if you have a fast-moving fluid, it experiences low pressure. Kapag slow-moving naman yung fluid, it has high pressure. Okay? So, sinasabi lang ng Bernoulli's principle, when the speed of a fluid increases, its pressure decreases. Example, yung sa airplane. The airplane wings, so yung air moves faster over the curved top of the wing. Di ba ganun yung itsura ng mga airplane? So it creates now lower pressure above the wing and higher pressure below. So this makes the lift, or this lift helps the plane fly. Okay? So another would be the shower curtain effect. Diba? So when water flows quickly from the shower, the moving air inside has a lower pressure. So the curtain gets sucked inward. Okay? So another example, yung blowing when between two papers. Okay? So when you blow air between two hanging papers, the air moves faster and it lowers the pressure. So anong nangyayari, kapag hinipan mo yung hangin, hinipan mo yung papel. Halimbawa, dalawang papel. Anong nangyayari, hindi lang isa yung gumagalaw na papel, pero dalawa yun. Dalawa yung gumagalaw. They move together. Okay? So, yung Bernoulli's principle is actually connected both to speed and pressure. Again, the faster a fluid moves, the less pressure it exerts. Okay? So, here we now have the Bernoulli's equation. Okay? So, P1 plus PV squared plus over 2 is plus PGH. So, yung P1 natin is the static pressure. Ito namang second one is the dynamic pressure. And then the last one is the hydrostatic pressure. Okay? So, the equation says that for a steady, incompressible, non-viscous fluid, yung total energy, okay, yung pressure energy, kinetic energy, and potential energy. So, it stays constant along a streamline. So, itong equation na to is equivalent to a constant. Okay? So, if the speed increases, the pressure must decrease. And if the height increases, the pressure might decrease too. Okay, so to keep the total energy constant. So, that's all for fluid mechanics. Hope you learned something about the properties and behavior of fluids. Do you have any questions regarding our topic? Feel free to place them in our comment box. That's all for this video.